다 바세바 델라 카도기 쉐버리오리 하이 바세바 세종변도 미 바세바 카르보 이라게 바세바 추인도 더누게 바세바 다 배치지 나부면로 냐베 바세바 치다베 노도 미치바다 보세 나부 이말비다고요 말 가시살 치데베서 가시살 마치베서로 신체 세루고스로 지어리 루츠기 제버 하이 바세바야 태거르야노 미 바세바 카두르야노 더누 바세바 페무즈우르야노 고바고르야노 데네 이다다 더누 냐베 바세바 툴만르야노 냐베 바세바 고살즈우르 루기여베서로 데네 나와샤기요리 루츠기 제버리.
For the powder paint, there's also difference in color. It looks like the powder paints of the human. They're mostly yellow in color, and those who are of God, they're white in color. Like those who are the predator, they're watery in color, and for the hell pardos, that they share dark black in color, and they feel like as if they're walking on their heads down and legs up, they're walking upside down and so on, and they color their body like dark, like lak, a burnt lak, and also there's difference in the way they walk. The Deva part of being, they seems to walk upward, whereas the humans, they at the horizontal, just sort of straight, and the hell, they're walking on the head of on the crown of their head, they feel, or the predators, they're walking on their knees, and so on. So there's difference in the way they walk too.
Me baseba sugi pasu tunguyori. Me baseba marasu migi tungumari. Koransu nasa tunguyori. Tenu padu asu tenu pasu tunguyo. Koransu nasa. Rori ru rano susu padu asu pasu tungamado yamba tungumari. Sai migi ngoshi dige padu tunghechi. Migi ngoshi di ori adi. So
the body beings, like the body beings of the human, they can see each other. Those who are the body beings of the to be are human, and body beings of the predator, they can see amongst themselves. Body beings of the hell, they can only see amongst themselves.
여기 소강을 하이나 저장의 원시지 허를 고들라 지토의 원시디 동거마래 공중의 원시디 동거래 공중의 원시 알아서 메인의 신의 공 라통고 산대 담부터 어디는 산대 담부 원시 토소나 원시라 되네 원시 공주요래 원시가 되는지 토소나 근데 공중의 원시가 따나 봐도 동거요래 두면 동거요 말이야.
So there's this quote where it says that with the Vijnana of the eye of the divine Vijnana, or the existential perception of the visual perception of the God, one could see about the being. But that kind of visual perception meant that in the form realm, those beings who are born in the form realm of the as a God, as in a form realm, God the form realm, because of the virtue of their birth there, that they have a kind of ESP, or the visual existential perception. But with that kind of existential perception, they can't see them. But with what kind of then divine existential perception one can see the Bhagavad being is the acquired existential perception through the meditation. That is through the meditation, there's stages like the preparatory stages of the first stage or the samadhi. After that, one further upgrades to the actual samadhi itself. When one has gained that first stage, mushi, or the actual stage of the first stage samadhi, then one acquires extrasensory perception along with it. And with that kind of extrasensory perception, one can see the part of being. So the kind of extrasensory perception we're talking here is which is acquired through the attainment of the higher samadhis. So for the beings who have found the birth, then of course, otherwise those who haven't yet, they after each week they pass away and they take birth back in the bardo. So the Buddha being one who is going to take a birth, now the kene or the birthplace, the where one is about to take a birth, there are four kinds of birth, right? Birth because of warmth, and birth out of transformation, birth from the egg, or birth from the womb. So let's suppose that we are going to take birth through the womb.
So say no so lobe jinsen ge de yone de ba kong ru chun ru an bu chabe dong yone cha pu no de sa bu do na zun ru an bu shina tu bu sin pa zun ru an bu de ge no yung gu yo re ga she la khong na le ya zun ru an bu che de chi len ru an bu ya ken za yan za ni han be za ru gu yo ban ru bu o de tu zu na men ta so chi chen ne ani chi ne shu ru yo re.
So there happens loss of the vision or the not real vision. Nangwa get turned down. I translate for feeling. The feeling or the nangwa here that being chased sometimes. So they feel or one sense that one is chased, or sometimes being caught in a storm, or sometimes being chased by a wild animal and so on. One sense those kind of things and seeks a shelter, sometimes under a cave, or sometimes trying to get into a temple and so on. That kind of feel, or one senses the being chased or going into something like that.
Bado me bado chi tro de no mele chi tondo bado tro no tondo le chi nyewa bado tro no nyewa le chi gu se anu de do re je de me do su nyen do chi ta ti ba me ba su ke che te yo re ine me do ba ma re bado be do ja chi be nge song ge bado de tro yo ne jo de nge su ge gyo do che ya ho je ko de chi ro che na ya me de ta ga de ya chi ro yo re chi de da do go de na ne ba ya le so go su te ba chi mo re today so yo te bi chama korang rang chare korang le badung ya badu na ka na badung ya badu sha san be lam song ko jo le jong de chewa de de chona ya chine de ya ru yo re jo le chenge ge za chenge yo de jang ping ge yo re ta de she go ya de yo ma re di ne de re ma zo pe be lo su yi za so de she ya de re chang su do shen de ge do da ji shi song su ge de ji chenge che ya yo za Mishe Sona, and the Chashimir, Kunjol, Chevan, the Wagin, so the Shannon, Suros, Jotun, Yasho, Macho, the Chani, Molon, the Yashi, Payashi, Ordon, the Payayor. Payade, Chekindi, Pamashi, Pugushi, Terejasona, and Society Juina, Rigidoyori. Rigidoy is a pingior, Gyogarjin pingior.
So, when somebody dies, that at that time, there is some saying that it's irreversible, that once in the body state as to be born in lower realms and so on, that's irreversible. That's believed in the state, in the lesser yana, whereas in the accordance, there are greater yanas that one could reverse. For instance, if he could recollect himself and take refuge and so on, there could be changes. And also, who are behind him, who are behind, that if they do anything good, positive, dedicated for him, that also helps for such a change in course. That helps. Mostly, of course, if he himself could do that, but also those who are behind, if they do anything virtuous for him, that definitely help because of the connection in terms of the family or relationship and so on. So it does help. Since every one of you know fairly well by now, that because Tibetans, they do it a lot, and now the many of you also seems to be interested to request to pray and do the prayers by yourself for the deceased and so on, or requesting a collection of Sangha, a Sangha assembly to pray for somebody who have just passed away and so on. So they definitely help that person if done. So if a disciple passes, then if Lama does the prayer, it helps the disciple because there is a dharmic relationship between. So, and those who share the material in common, those who share their belongings in common, and for them to, if you dedicate, that helps because you share that belongings in together. So because of that common bond, that if you help or dedicate or do anything dharmic, that helps that person. So if there's any of the three relationships, like the common wealth or common family or the dharmic relationship, then because of that kind of relationship, if anything done, that helps. So if he is dead and born as a cow in the next life, then the cause or one of the karma has taken its effect already. That one of the karma he has collected has come to effectuation. So thus he has to carry on the end of the term of the karma. So thus that it looks that he will have to stay and until that karma itself, whichever caused him to be born as cow, has come to the end.
Tisu go so yor, chogatong dari sunyo donga jiyor. O tene go ne shira yor, that was jijini dari shaya menu.
So, was through the great sacred mantrayana that one could do lots of for the deceased through the funeral things, like even with the piece of bone of the deceased and so on, that one could perform lots of rites for that person deceased, like reference to the
Nessun giù gius, nessun giù di la chedon son chen dingare, con nessun giù di ma che choga mamu yore.
So a text which I double check called Nyesong Zhonggu, Nyesong Zhonggu, the mantra or the Tantra for the purification of the lower realms.
Nessun giù di chajuri, giù di omare. Ti ne la me da ne giù nessun giù gori di chida, giù di ne giù giù. Ti da ma la me giù le teve chang yogore.
So this very practice I'm talking about, that's in clear Tantra. And of course that all the higher ones, they will have more about that. For instance, like Sunje Denga and so on, the 5 groups of 5 other texts and so on, that there are a lot of other kind of texts that through which one could do a lot for the deceased people.
La mege on tu dare son la len dargi ore mi she son pwa joru se la ma de ne shu pwa jo gi she de ne shu pwa jo ta ba de ne shu choga to jangwa che rola jangwa che rubal jangwa che ko ta ba ga ne ne choga na da me ra ma mu tong go tu so ga lo ba shi be to da she ya ge choga nam ra da ba de ne yore de ne yin za chi da ni ma zu lo be de she sa ya me do ma ji de ne yore se da to ya samre.
For instance, like the transference of consciousness which is performed, and also like doing lots of rituals requested to the Sangha community to do so, and also we can do the purification named in Tibetan as Zhongwa, that one can do that either on the little piece of the item from that deceased person, and like for instance on the body of the deceased or one of the bone and so on. That it's just information, and I'm just trying to tell you that these things are available, or there are these things which we could do, that we are not going to discuss about them, but just for the information's sake.
Ta ya chi she pa do rewa ta chi we ko de che gore chi lu de.
Now,
ta chi dong de sang ge ko yin za. 지원에도 당가서 매일에 밤에 밤에 인송에 보고 놓지 지어지 주지도 치다 파샤 공을 지어 되어 매 주지 요리 공을 안에 매지해 요리 저실 지어 요리 매일 지내 요리
so
yeah.
So now here we will just try to, now since we talked about the death and also about the state and so on, now let's discuss a little bit about the birth, and birth, that mostly about a birth from the womb, okay? But otherwise that there are all four kinds of birth as a human, like birth as human from the egg, birth as human through the transformation, birth as human from heat, and so on. So, there happened that Trishit, which was born from the moist and heat, like there happened named Pramsing, that one who took a birth amongst the sugar cane, in a group of a sugar cane from Shin, you know.
그 신냐면 보런시바 다자가 좀 샤저도 쓰고도 보런시 미리주리. 그러나 세고야 돼. 개만 잡을리게 토메 제보 mambukuro기 제주리. 보런시바데 마주도 제주 체조요래. 다 마체지 중요래.
So, like the Buddhists, in a Buddhist family, you know, you might have heard of that. It is called in Tibetan Puram Shingbe Rik, a family or tribe that which came from a clan which nurtured at one time in a sugarcane grove. That if that didn't happen, his lineage of his family would have broken, which come from way before, way.
매 주진이 개바통이 매 강가래.
Whereas
개바통이 차디게 매 소만 주지래.
transformation from the birth, the old human born at the first evolution stages, they were all born from the transformation.
공원에 지용해들라 내대 자생의 자고 니자스 니주가 비자니 총총의 공간을 지어래. 저디 총총 용어 가보.
So that are born from the egg, they have two, like they have two nete, which means starvey or the senior monk. The term used starvey or the senior monk, and named as Tak and Yeta, Kirti and Upkirti.
그래서 상지면 보고 순주 순이 공을 지어 인수. 레저 아마 메리 상지만 생애들이 보무치를 자갈. 그 보고 지야가 살아 공을 순주 순이 동샤버려.
So those two, they took their birth from a egg laid by a crane, and also there were a lady. She laid 32 eggs, and there were 32 kids who were called Sangjima, 32 sons of Sangjima. Her name was Sangjima.
대라 공을 순주 때니 순이들 부배 양우지가 순주 순이 좋아래.
So when those 32 eggs were hatched, there happened really 32 lovely babies.
근데 다이나 다리산이 가서 내지 컨트롤에 대랑하 저베 대인자 대기지와레베 온도전 저저 내지지 아용다고 그래. 파마야 하체게 리요게.
So we should try our best that we will get a birth in a womb with the 6 elements present inside us. That is what we should strive, and also plus a parent who does have inherited good potential for Tantra practices.
다 늘라 니고레 지와렘바 제발라 파마 pensu chani nyebu jeba chugore pama nyebu jero majena bugu yumarwa pama nyebu jeba che.
So in order to conceive, now the first parents in union,
mangi ngele chen meba nasa meba mangi ngele chen sungi de shine nga inchi seji yore nasa ge chen ro tile.
The mother free from the ill disorder of the womb, and also Gandharva or the birth being seeker being nearby. The Gandharva or the birth being who is to take the rebirth, that he should be around. If he doesn't, and those parents too have the karma to be the parent of that person, candidate. And vice versa for that birth being.
So
if you count there about the 5 attributes necessary, right? So 5 conditions necessary.
다들 내래 바도와디게 파마니아부 제베고라 미냐부죠 코란 레게 오기베 주마제도 통비요래.
So that Bardo being, because of his karma, sees the parent in union.
통베고라 코란 부지케이나 고 말차 팔당.
If he were to be born as male, he is attached to the mother and has a sense of little aversion or a little hate towards the father. If were to be born as female, then attached to the father and a little hate towards mother. So, as being attached to the mother and hate the father, or thus that in a position of union that he faces towards the mother. So she faces that, it faces the father, since that attached to the father and destined to be born as female. So, since he just senses that he's trying to be in a union in such a position, whereas that does not become possible for him, so when he gets himself in the position, then all he sees next is the 2 secret organs. So thus that upsets him, and that provocation or that upset then causes his death. So, though he does not see, but he enters through the crown of the head of the father. And along with the white, along with the semen, then he mix, and the moment that it joins with the egg, then the death and it happens. So so since the fourth Badu being, there's no dead body remaining behind, and he faces back towards mother.
Shundu tila puta bumi yo marwa kutan rima chile yo marwa narana bo mirume bo tartar bo go bo changjurus shadu doma suju sunga pado zuta siyo mare. Tene ya changjur ne zuba nyang cha ro ne tene kale ya zuta tyo de go ta chida bozi ro che tene sudi chida tyo tene kaya josa le de pumu ya che yongure kandari yibe ko po yina ne gode mage yedete mage ninale ponele de longata poani ke poru diore gode yelete ka jevlo lo diore. So the head towards the so head towards the right side of the mother, and face towards the back.
So in a lying position, of course that the real identity as a male and female does not come even after about the 35 days or later. And if one to be born as daughter, then head towards the left side of the mother and face towards the front. For most intelligent ladies, that they understand that the new sentient being presence inside the moment it has conception has occurred, because of the certain symptoms she could tell, but we may not be able to tell about whether male or female. Some even sense that what kind of person is that, if that is somebody really remarkable, like highly renowned Lama or somebody else that one could tell from the very early stage of the conception.
Malacha, Pala Dama is a Malichover Zamba is a Kamala Lodiori, Chesa, Malalo, the Deva Indu, Jodi, Palate, Duty, Malteba is a Kajal Palodiori. Pobo in Palichani, Malijavtani, Palichover Zamba is a teaching, my Kovan de Duty Sotin, Malijavtani. So, reason that the male and female in such a position is that, as told earlier, that male, if one were to be destined to be male, being attached to the mother, faces mother, so thus facing towards the back of the mother. The female being attached to the father, so thus faces towards the front of the mother. And it's so much easier, but we need the Delchia, need the sons, mother truth.
So also times that twins or triplets, or maybe 5 or even 6.
Timothy Jinan, Toma Boguchaya, Gonde, Angeva de Te Water de Ore, somebody shouted them, Pangena, Gamba 30 ore. Jay do Chuma de Helma Chigri.
So for a triplet, then the eldest, he's on the very top, and middle one, of course, in the middle, and the youngest at the last. And when they take birth, then the first one to come is the youngest. So for a triplet, in the way we determine their age, we say the one who comes first, he's the oldest, right? But in fact, he's the youngest. There's other way of counting. Because in the case of conception, the oldest one is on the very top.
Toma Pamani la Shuba go to Marazunyan Yago, you can chain, Pasiba de Haku, Padu Imahaku, Padula Paduranka member, Sai Najuche, Najoma Gunginda, Dochang Gunginda, Sajik Kula Chudi Amarte Gom, Pasiki Gijurche. Chewa Lenin Dune, Pamari Zonajikado da, till Chewa Lembe go do, da Malacha Paladon said to Chadon Majebaje, Chadon Golotica. Pena Dejoga Najubaina, Pamani with the Hiruga Yolata, Chi Hiruga, Dojo Pamoime, Mibashani, and Pagiju Nima, Tansivali, Shiba Shube, Sutama Shune, Samshan Chival and Nedi, Chibutama Rusuki, 2,000.
So the way they are really highly realized or competent practitioners they do is that in the bardo, as they contemplate or they wish, they meditate on oneself or sees oneself in the aspect of the deity, or meditate on oneself as deity, checking the family of the suitable parents, and also avoiding any kind of that kind of hatred or attachment, and receiving the suitable parent, the father as Heruka and mother as the Vajravarahi, and enters through the calm aperture of the father, as the wisdom being enters the commitment being, and thus takes the conception, leads or merges into the conception. That's the way the highly competent practitioners do. So the moment one takes the conception or joins the egg and sperm of the parent, at that time there's presence of the Luke Namshi, or the cognitive power of the body, and mental cognitive power. So mental cognitive power of mental cognition and sensory cognition of the tactile sensory cognition, sensory cognition and mental cognitions are there. That, for instance, one can sense a little bit about the body and the mind. They're a little subtle about the three-person solutions and so on. They further grow as fetus. Then there are also pains and there are fears. That one parents, depending on what kind of food intake of the mother, that he experiences either warm, feels warm, heat, and if cold, feels the same. When mother is too overfat, mother has overeaten and feels the pressure on him. When mother remains or in diet or is hungry, then he feels like being raised above in a space. So but there's no like the sensory cognitions like that of the visual sights or the audio and so on. That and also food too is taken through the umbilical cord, which he has at navel that time, and.
be samajur, jobanjur chijur, Tirel then Buguyani, Ame Habuyori.
So, now for instance, if that child is going to be a wonderful one or the very good one, then mother also senses an immense delight. They're very light physically, mentally very pleasant, and have a tremendous sense of the urge for liberation and so on, becoming very religious, feeling light and confidence and so on. Whereas by the virtue of that child inside. Whereas if one is going to be, if that child is somebody who is really negative, then the mother has effect on mother too in a conduct, like she gets more irritable, or there's a lot of changes in her conduct. She gets very exasperated real easily and so on. So that one can tell a lot about that child, the way it has effect on the mother.
Ta lu de bogo lu ya pay you do damo sonzi jilong di chagari, long ju jani. Then the sonzi nyane chenju chevje turseje long zawe longa. Then in the region yalaga longa chetinis chago and shimada tange sevu shujumendo. Tagoya imendo. Ne da nelo we be shita gunani going in jugundonal dawore.
So then the first wind which starts form in that fetus, the first one becomes the in Tibetan Sokzin, that which holds life force, and then equalizing winds and so on, then ascending winds, and then downward moving winds, and so on, and plus then after that comes the sets of the 5 other winds, minor winds, and so on, and which I may not go in detail. If you want to know or study more about that, a text I would recommend is the Gao Nyelju. Gao Nyelju.
Gao se chung gao sanje ge kunje chire.
Gao
Tela suar sanje ge kare. Dona le yore.
Entry of the womb for the non. Sorry. Anyway, Gao Nyelju. So that is the Gao is the Ananda, that to whom Buddha taught that sutra.
Ta mama ji ko shabu de ko la long sarva chigre ame khobana la khadu do ta long singe chiore long de jong de khobana ge bu ngo ya yo ka ba tan de ma de ma ngu sho lo sha gre gu sho lo de shabu de de go re.
So at the first week, at the conception, and there comes a new wind or lung, vayu, that named as Katulta, that which face downward, literally translated, which face downward. By the virtue or because of that fetus remains upside down for a week inside the womb.
당은 제용도 나사에 싫어요. 배바 있는 집부터 뭐 있는 내가 요아마레미 나 지리 토나면다 요리마도 내니 집에 소리지마도 싫어 먼저 셰 두고 말이. 제 배바랑 가와 있는데 싫어가 나사제 배 나사 전부요. 요리 강이 있는 만데 다만 실로만 대와다가 미그 소통 암조고 다투 칼레베 로냐 깨져지 여봐 우당지 여봐 강가 뭐 실로 되는 마도 용고요 말이.
So, there are all those that at the time of birth, of course, he goes through a great pain and so on, and lots of pain and anxieties. Or, of course, we can't tell for those who are highly realized beings and so on. But when he is born, the moment he takes born out of the womb, then the visual sights and ability to breathe, and so all those comes subsequently after the birth or when he comes out.
당아치 사선 추고리. 다나지데 내 용종 송고를 다 써고리. 죄변 샤고리. Then Jencha Dawari. Oh, yeah, then it Jenny, you then to the logo is on the Tongo, Chongo, then will the Jeving on Gogodoa, then level Doji on Gogodoa, that is the Gangolo to go on in Chivata and Jubi on do you to the Jaya Yori. So soon I share more to the Rishego Mandu, Shego Yomari. That you will not in Rigiri. That you are the Lamugo as well, Chavata, Chishipado Sumucheva, Chiringi Oda. Chishipadu Sunda number Tumber which you go on eh? Chivachugal Chivalanche, Chivadan, Drabunda which you said. Go to Chiva in San Gongo Mare, Kodan Drabuji Gongo.
So, when after one takes birth, then we wash that child, and then we try to raise him, and we give the right cap and so on. We raise him with education and gradual, right? In same way, when we receive an initiation, as you remember, the first initiation starts with wash initiation, pouring the water on you and clean you up. And then gradually you are given the crown and then water and belt and so on, so which can be very much explained in the conservative text, which I will not go into detail again just for information here. And also, like the most important thing is that when we do the meditation here up to now, that we don't do it like actual death, but a resemblance with what we go through, that resemblance in aspect, that we do this practice. So, like taking the bardo, taking the in the bardo, no, Sambhogakaya bardo, this taking Sambhogakaya as path, okay? In that we don't meditate on the bardo. Please stress. We don't meditate. So we don't meditate on that, but resemblance with it. And also when we are taking the birth at the Nimanakaya on the path. So we do the resemblance in the aspect, but not itself.
Kanga shingi yore, dogon ji xie shan de ge ban zhuo. Yi ju xie ji a. Nga ba gong pa su na. Tang gang zhu ni ba da gi de ba de san ma si gu da. Bang yi de nie ji chi song ge da na ga ta da nya ma ju be. Ne ju ta ji de dong ge ran ye de ji la yang de shen ta ta ne de de shen do cha ye bang yi de ju bo. 원이지 나대봐도 됨스 나다야 대도 이미지 죽을줄 오셔는 되는 소바와 이모고 홍서 다대 공제고야.
So now here that please now note on your sadhana where it says this very syllable form becomes the bigger and bigger until to that mantra which just recited up to there. And that's where we visualize it.
저 가르치고 생각 공제고 있어. 가지고 공부 쇼다 리시 공부 있어. 가르 공부 있어. 아니 공제고 있어. 가르 공부스. 공제고 있어. 뭐야 시죠 말. 수일럽 주스. 러게 메두스. 오늘 컨디션 주스. 배차지라 좀테 공부 있어. 근데 지지어만 다디 샘는 침물에. 주마베 뉴바도 쭉쭉 차그래. 다 공준들이 공토니야.
So
나반데 줘버다.
So I do meet, or some just bear testimony saying, I meditate. Oh Master, I meditate. What do you meditate? Yeah, I just meditate every single day of my life. Then what do you meditate was my question, you know. Oh, I just meditate. Then what do you meditate? I found some book and I'm meditating on it. And that shouldn't be our case. If we really want to meditate, that these are the material which we should meditate. Otherwise, if we just try to meditate something which does not have an origin, then it can become a great disgrace for ourselves. The more so, the worst that it can really be very destructive.
Lama Mabu Chel Marangi to a Pahilate, Pahi the church, Rubia Godu, Pahi Ranga Zugul Vachel, Zugu and Pahi go, Mabu Koranga Rajantur, Pa Neakonda, the Baba Combat Siva, Kava Lele, Gangolo Pahi Rajantur, Pa Rilato, Rida Pahi, and Sheila Pony, Shin Pahi, Solobon, Sopahi, Zabulim Pahi, don't so you don't chill Pahi, Nagatatan Rudiba. But no Chu Tanji, Dabe, Madabe, Simijan, no Jinjide, but someone Gangolo, Pangi, now the journey, Mabo, Tapan, Suta de Gumari, Mabu Korebe, they don't wear a change, Mabu, Pangi, Chursun, Sabeba, Jamni, Jachetachi,
so
Nakanyamashi.
The celebrated palm at a center of our heart, that by the reception of the Guru, as we had earlier, into that, then and then it starts growing. It starts grow and gets bigger and bigger, and one's entire body becomes the palm. Okay, then by the touch of that palm and further growth in it is sides that turns the whole chunjung into the palm. Then every lake, mountain, everything it touches around the vicinity, everything transforms into the palm, and it grows, keeps on growing and expanding, and turns the entire length of the whole universe into this level of the palm, and red in color, and stays in the nature of the bliss and void, becomes the nature of the bliss and void.
Saje Lusula. Pangi the Beba Nakal Bachavne, Tagapa Yenru me budget, Meli Res was some Bachavari, and the Tumba Tagabon Shavari. Tito and Nigio Mari. So Duguri, Zori Goyag Pije is so Duguri. Chochi, Nisun Juji Timri the Tuni, Chevata two boys, and Chevata number tons of Cheva in so Duguri. Laria Tana Ringi to Shendo Tray, Pangi to Churros, Laria Tan so Duni Shendo Tray, Pangi to Church.
So that according to the Satya, that it keeps on expanding and finally it disappears. And in that state of the voidness, we contemplate. But here we try to gather that palm again back, and it contracts and becomes smaller and again assumes this level of the palm in the former sight. That the reason is that to mature ourselves are worthy of the practice of the, or for the maturation of the, to maintain the practice of the Zohrim, to mature the practice of Zohrim, and also we have to maintain is resemblance with the death, right? Resemblance with the death in the aspect.
Ransin de Dong was a lot of my imba, the Galama, Tim Ransin, Latim, Ransin de Dong over Tarchi Gomne. They don't go gone, they don't the cushion or you know, the Giltona, neither Jalaman, Lushimba, that thing on it, they don't go rushing a pangi the power true. That's so doing it, Nurjo Kanga, so do you do, Nurjo Kanga Pangina, let him near, Sama Yomari, Dong Sansari. Chilo, read our conscience, Samala, Pangina, the things are. Since I was so by Chuju, so Joan, Suzuko, a day Yomari. That lion tani shadow, do the shadow try. Pangi de Churujavarta, they do such a let him think so. That Mijuta was shy to similar tree, no, shy me budget. Then Mijuta was shy to, they watch him with Delang, don't watch him with Dong Sang, they don't go, but they don't Majiva Gongori.
So,
such a melon thing you should go about Sashinaji Giomar, go over there is such a melon thing, and Sanjay you call a Jodo or down. Oh, yeah.
So, that as I explained to you earlier, that by the virtue of the merger of the Guru inside you into that slivering palm, that you are in the state of the great bliss in the void, right? wisdom of the bliss and void, which is the definitive Guru Yoga. And I explained to you that how that is the nature in the nature of all four kayas. So within that state, within the liveliness of that state, then you do this. It expands. Then finally, again, it absorbs back into the syllable palm. Then when it has absorbed back into the former shape of syllable palm, as everything has been transformed into that palm or merged into that palm, now there is nothing left behind, right? There is nothing left, even yourself, but the syllable palm, and try to think that at this point, the earth element dissolving into the water element, and the mirage-like vision sensed, and you also feel the great elation of the bliss and also void, bliss and void that you have to work on.
Oh yeah. 다 방을 리차 요 말이야. 방게 오다 아주 요 말이야. 대매 봐이자 방 코로 조지지. 그 이제도. 조지게 오게 제제 이 수기 니부터야 방게 류도 방게 뭘听着. 아주 요나 아주야听쳐서 얘네 지마자죠 초래. 대매 봐제 방 코로 그 수고때 뭐그 제제들 야팀. 방게 류도 방게 뭐를 팀베. 아니 좀 멜레팀베 도다빈 호샤스 좀 멜레팀소 삼바세.
So now this palm we are visualizing, it does not have that at the bottom, because since this is not long palm, that it does not have it. So that the main body of the palm, it merged into the top line of the syllable of the palm, and along with it, try to think that water has dissolved into the fire and the smoke-like vision is sensed. Work on your that bliss and empty, the mind which apprehends the empty is being the blissful mind apprehending the emptiness. Two.
God does it. Go treasure the Atikong and the Seo, the city remote to do record which teacher. Some don't do go the go tabac. So easy check a two shabs of the city. God does it.
That so head of the syllable palm dissolves into that the saucer or the crescent moon, though it looks like crescent moon, but it is in fact it is more like a ball cut into half. That it is round but cut into half, so it dissolves into that.
Goda sila timbe melung sachula timbe ta biju shasar ta me sachul chumel timbe ta towa khato deiwa ta melung la timbe ta me simbu mishita ben ho shasu melung la tinsu sambache.
So when that merger happened, try to think now the fire has dissolved into the wind, and firefly like a sense. You sense like the presence of fireflies.
This one, they don't go jibari, they don't do a cherry, tomba cherry, rugo, Zugu Gangaya, Nuruda, Beton Sanre.
So again, stress that you have to carry the elevation in the height of the bliss. That also you try to think that there's greater bliss than earlier, and also greater bliss, greater vacuity. Since you are getting smaller in size, you feel more space or emptiness.
Thank God that's it. That's it. Tell it really Kotung. Tridu Gogo, Gogo Madivala, Kotung Trishing Marwa. Says really Kotung, Titoge. That's it going to tilt. Tanda se tele ya tim.
So that round cup or the crescent moon, that crescent, it dissolve or merge into the ball. Though we write a circle, but in fact what it is a ball empty inside. So it dissolves into that circle, which is drawn circle, but which is a ball in fact. It dissolves into the ball.
Taya de dong cher dong, de dong che. Tele tim. Tele tim be gong long de nam shi la tim go zu su sang be no de ma me ba we no da se ching chi jong sam che.
So at that time the wind into the begins to wind into the consciousness and to try to think
Raison. Lo sa me.
Long nam shi
Oh yeah. Long nam shi le tim ba nam shi ri ge chu su ri be re. Ta long shi nam shi le ya tin yu du ani ma me da ba no de re. Che da nam shi to ba zum ba na sha ngo zu yu de su re. Che ba de da ya ni tim se shun ri re.
So when it starts, the wind begins to dissolve into the consciousness, or when the wind dissolved into the consciousness, they are just the same here. Okay, that then you sense like the presence of the light, undisturbed light.
Ta tele go na nanda de pa jo so jo ya jo song yo da tele de nanda jo da mo le tim.
Now that ball or the circle, it dissolves into the first curve of the squiggle or the nanda.
Jo da mo le tim be go de ka lam ba sha jong sa ma je. Na wa ka lam ba sha jong sa ba je. Ta thang le sha be me ba je. Sang je thang je ji go do ju to jong sa ba je.
So try to think that that moment it begin to dissolve into the first curve of the squiggle, that a whitish sense, apprehension happened, and try to also believe that you acquired the Vajra Kaya of the Buddha, Vajra physical Kaya of the Buddha. The first curve merged into the second. The increase, the reddish has appeared, and redness, sense the redness. Try to convince that I have acquired the Vajra speech of the entire Buddhas. Mustn't forget to maintain the meditation on the bliss and void. The second curve absorbs into the final curve or squiggle. That point, feel you have attained the near attainment mind, the darkness, and try to believe that you have attained the Vajra mind of the entire Buddhas. So at that time, try to think that the bliss is also at the very strong bliss, very strong bliss, and also in immense vacuity, voidness, immense voidness, and then right up to that you try to think now without memory of the blackness. So now the final curve of the Nanda is also disappears, or the
This Sanje Nanjume Chuju Kungo, somebody, showing that the Yanamaza Sabawi Moko, Hunks Chen did the Kavagungo, they don't go. That they don't, they think to do Tiri Daji with the shield and Jiba Rudiore. That they don't go, they don't do the Chungajes, we are the Chugu Samachi, Mamba and Toya, Dojin Nanjume Kuban told you, Chuku, or Donko Jigan and Chuku, they go in Samachi. That Mage Ododa number 2. Ya gonju de lamdu je lamdu yima samba che drebu le nga je zuma yisa drebu lamje yi ko chugo lang la khir to bare oh yeah
so
chugo lamje oh that de ji de gongbo yeah
so then after the darkness then there's certain the emptiness and then with the blissful the great bliss mind apprehending that emptiness the emptiness sense emptiness and blissful mind apprehending that emptiness. So non-duality or the inseparability of that bliss subject and the empty object, on that one holds the divine pride of being the great resultant Dharmakaya. And Dharmakaya, which is the final state of the Vajra Yogini, okay? The Dharmakaya of the Vajra Yogini. On this, the one holds the divine pride.
Oh yeah. Maraza Gonja Gabu is a Shabu Chachu Pagonja show at the bank. Sanya Malawa Chene. So he never shall.
So this is the, and if you're really capable and a competent practitioner or meditator, then just have a good meditation on it for 10 or 15 days on it. So this is the main Chuku Lamke. Please get this written down. Chuku as the Dharmakayas, Lamke as the taking path of the Dharmakaya. Okay, taking Dharmakaya as path or taking Dharmakaya into the path. So there's will be more addition which will go over. So there's question and answers, and I got a few questions from students, and first I'll read. Now, first question: during self-generation, which way do the syllables that we visualize in our forehead, throat, hearts, and so forth face? The two of them were the the Juda, Jimba, the Tuala, Yigurwa, then Gurwa, the good the Omhau, the Sheikh Lores.
Rondo Tachu Gurwati, Susaka, the Tegolovici.
Tantas of Sheikh Halo. So the syllable letters, their face is the whichever direction you are facing. So whichever direction you are facing, the same direction the syllable letter faces. Is it clear? Is it clear? Or which way do the syllables face when we visualize them in the deity during the front generation? The the same thing applies with the front generation. That whichever you have the front generation facing, the syllable letter face the same direction. So now next question. At the end of the blessing of the inner offering, or when the Om Ahum falls into the skull cup, which syllable falls in the first, and what is each syllable's function? The Nangchu cup so Ahum di Tuvenama Humor was Tuvenal Hundu the Tangbukar Lunguris, and who is this, and the Jando Boston Jajora, the Dukai in Jando Boston, I said. I think those three slave leaders, they are going to have the loss of pain and bruises when they fall down.
Jondo bus Timares, Cousin Leva bus, because several shaves. Young said, Togano was a true member, a long your member, Tubano Zenia, Shuni Pandrini, Chanyaba, Zutter, Nimachagador of Chani. Take it, Kado to John Jones, John did this. Kadanga Gabadmas high on it, Duzumo Richune, Duzukabuch Lechuvati, Duzirtovares. Uma on somebody, young said to somebody, Uma on somebody, Mamu Bevatis, Jodo Basukan Bevatis.
So, the Tundu Koringares,
Korea, dears.
Tambok
Holding Melisaburi.
So, that as that with cut, you with your lights and so on, it just first transforms the nectar, then cut around it transforms the odor and so on. So now these three slave letters, when they fall, their function is they increase and makes it inexhaustible, right? Now when they fall down, that Oma Ahung, there's order where they fall, that first Hung, then Ah, and then
Hung the Masa Duzirishu, Adamasa Duzirishu, Om the Masa Duzirishu, and Ibe Telebe Kaze Chushan Seju Meke, Drew Jalapu Nedika, Tonda the Pushan, Kunyuru Make Chile Chusum, so much.
So the first, the Hung falls, then Ah, then Om at last. And because of the fall and mixed blending with the nectar in the content, nectar in the cup, that it makes it inexhaustible, that even if one were to treat the thousands of guests, but it becomes an inexhaustible resource.
Yeah, you should have lots of law in Jagrata, Jerome and the
So,
yeah,
so now next is, how can we prevent someone from lying on his back when he dies, especially in the hospital? And the Megana do a Mika said, Kangelos don't do this, and they did it to the guy at the Kanzika. Kangelo Shimo.
Me on the Mekan Yellow Tongus.
No, Kangelo Shitu, I said. The Shimo is a Kangelo said, Kangelo shouldn't do that.
Did you Kangalo Kangelo Yedis?
So actually, we prefer to lay on our back, and so that's part of the reason that when we die laying on our back.
Singing yet a matu buried young Maris. Telishika Lagal Kunjo Telama Tentuna.
But position may not be that important, but to have him to recollect and to be able to think on or have the memory or the think about the three jewel or one's lama, that's more important. Position may not be that important. Now, next question. How can we prevent someone from having his legs bent when dies to prevent from becoming a...
Tele, Gua. Tele Benko Nalami, Sanlu Yoke Yabu de Shidu, who is saying on a day, you know, told you, oh my God, that did do this. Who is saying on a day, you know, Miraton Jaro, Gujuton Kedo of China. Kono said the Puna, the Ozi, the Mabazu Candelabe. Halan Pama Sebe Suru, Samegile Duzigi, Legens Abioris.
So, but the worst thing, what we should try to look for is try not to disturb somebody who could be in the state of the clear light at the time of their death. That in such cases, then, if we burn, cremate them, or if they will disturb or do something, anything like that, or cremate and so on, then that could be worse, even worse than killing parents and so on. So that's for them we should pay more attention. Now, next.
Go. Ali shunge ke shiba dratwa. Shuyo na lojo shewa tade. Mazu moru kutri mekho na la membe zo de beba jires, beba buchi, lojo je zo yung membe zo de dada chimu dires.
So I have a story here in Montgut. We have a doctor, a Tibetan boy who was trained, and he worked in the local hospital.
Anzu gishi ji chabi shbrang sheng mares, chabi chichi jire de kanu yabu je gishi zo me gijo yabu je keji mekho na shawares.
So one of our Gishi who was very diligent in his practices, though he does not show that he had good understanding of teachings, but he was very diligent in his practices, so he was in that hospital.
Hodu jomka masida. Hodu madu sire kashi. Zanariya kore. Shado chedi ya zozo jame chidu jendu todan juware.
So when he was just about to die, then he just tried to sit in a cross-legged in a meditative equipoise.
Todan juware eju dora bushu dige ma tagung dige ma rivare.
So that doctor, then he just grabbed him and laid him down in the bed. So when the doctor was away, then again he got up and tried to sit up. Then again the doctor came back and knocked him down. So since the doctor has authority in the hospital, he couldn't win, so he just laid in the lying position, laying on the right. So the moment he passed away, then he insists that the remains should be removed just now. You know, he just pushed everybody so hard that should be removed out. So then, as they can't, really leave him there, as it was ordered that should be removed immediately. So the attendant, they put him in a stretcher and took out, and close by there's old-aged home, and nearby in a corner they kept that body for the night and cremated the following day. So during one of my visits around and with the community, then in one visit, the mother of that doctor, she came to me.
The Mekona Rojaba Kaichu Marua the Koda Kos Marie that Jesha, the basic Marit Dibachimutine Yore. She was Shibul and Sumu Dibachi. Cherito Lomado. Mazula, the Koranda, Korale on Sivir, Lono Majunjo, and the asked Chagosa Amahales, Juma Ame Lavada. And Juma lady Kume, what I meant, Gishita, what I should have, what I choose to carry Jerusalem to Nation Meadow. Sigisa Shabu Mujagi the Jaru, Jevin Jerus, Tenkoya, which you do, good machine, but already to the Judu, Jesan Devame Honsonale, Todan Juma, Shinumar, and Jerazu Gijuya, which so Trombe Cody, Ganjalo Ado Kamulo Ado Dias Yomariti, Tudan Jubeta Ado Mendo Timaka Ado Danya, Ado Mendo Tani, Ozundo Nani, Lansam Medamaton Rochis Donia Royce, where today Tashin Dunani, or the Lichini Awiores.
So, and I told the mother that what her son has done, and then she was really upset, and looks like she was really more surprised and upset too, and seems that she told her son, and then later I found that whenever a monk passes in that hospital, that the doctor seems to tell the monks that please do whatever you have to do, you know. As far as that goes, I know nothing about it. And of course that under such circumstances, that not only it is bad for the one who is behind who does it, but also it's bad for one who is passing. That so we may not be concerned about whether they are on their back or whether on their legs pulled in or while they die in hospital, but be please observant that if there's any sign that somebody you know who is a good practitioner and could be in such a state, then try to get some time or give some time for that person, that so that he does not have to be disturbed right away. So there's no difference between the present Paramedian path and tangible paths as far as the object emptiness is concerned, but difference is in the subjective state of bliss. If so, some degree of bliss necessary for the mind to apprehend emptiness, or does the apprehension of emptiness create the bliss? Tanjiro Mushikana de ni Jojo Yutomani Chane to Pajinte Watanga, the Walkeva Marsus Sangat, in the Eugene Deochimone, the Deochimaton Kevashar Sonsus, teach you do any Tony Tober Lord in Jimmy Deochim, which is Simbuch or West, and Yamana Tony to Lo Horan, they would Korean Deochim or West.
The passion is so known, Tonya to below, the Okorang Tonya to the 2 year member you were, Javima, Zadolevza. They know they can cheer. Tonya to below, the Semba Chivin, Netu, Tonya to below, the Shenjang, the Masimba Kayori. Did the one Lechi door, Lechi Nimaki, the Eugene, Tonya Eugene, those junction Maimba, the Wachimbota Union, Choli Chuja was the more you made Chidu so much glorious.
So the kind of bliss we are talking about here is spontaneously generated great bliss, and you mustn't forget that every time I talk about a bliss here, that bliss in the void, and not only that subjective bliss, that which is the spontaneously generated great bliss, and object emptiness, now not like a distance, but the subject and object becoming almost oneness with each other. Non-dual in that sense, inseparable from each other. That is what we meant by inseparability with bliss and void.
One deva de la Tonya to be Shiro symbol Chiga Arson, Tea Mais, Shiro symbol Tonya to be Zimayo money, and Deva Chimbi Shichisona, while Deva Kaya Mareti, Tagatonio, Tiki Simba Inza, just is that is Siji draws in the Kavari, when Tiki symbol and never Kaya Matemes, that Tushin Sara in the Tushin long drawn the way. And why you would you going by 7 minutes, they may say alone to drown any, Tonya to the watching by Yishi Koron Yujenje, Tomani Yuje, Yujeni, around Sukibe, Migazula Dar was so past the me Suzy Devatabo Maimba, Tom the Yujen, the watching of Koron Tomani, the Moyime Tabo, where 모지번 내려 들으세요. 예름매와 지금 모지도 소하다 보시도 고고스. 어디서 저저 맞지 하는 랑고 소신들이. 뭐야.
So here this is the life force of the tantric path. The life force of the tantric path. So the spontaneously generated great bliss, right? That comprehending the emptiness, that subjective mind, the comprehending or apprehending the objective emptiness, and not like as the gesture showed that that like in a distance or anything, but becoming oneness with each other, like the water poured into a water. The inseparability of the subject and object, objective emptiness and subjective great spontaneously generated great bliss, and so on. Otherwise, the other kind of ordinary bliss that even through the generation of single point concentration, we did talk about it, right, earlier, that bliss which we gain when we gain this calm abiding, the bliss of the mind and physical bliss of a very subtle, very light and so on, mental bliss of being very active and so on, that kind of bliss, if those are present in other cases. But here kind of bliss we are talking about is simultaneously generated great bliss, and that as subject and objective emptiness and being inseparable from each other.
Tanda chugu lanchir de la ta je de gon de wese ke ko le de tanda ma de wa chimbu yo marwa ine me ba chi de wa chimbu yu je de wa chimbu yo je de wa chimbu nyu yu la de cham cha no yu la dong sang sa ni ju la rang je me ba ni ba de lo ji de sum je sum bu de cho lo de la de du ji chugu yi sa ma je zong je che chu ji ne go gu res chugu tam chi ta ba ri shin de se ge.
So the question becomes that right now we don't have that simultaneously generated great bliss, right? But we imagine that we received it or we have it. And with that, then also on this 8th stage, that we said that what we experience is the great bliss, in appearance is the vacuity or the emptiness, but in apprehension, being void of, in confirmation, not just empty, but empty of inherent existence. So all those three attributes present on a single mind, present on a single mind. And on that single mind, we hold the divine pride of being the real resultant Dharmakaya. So those four attributes that the subjective mind, which is the great bliss in experience, an object appearing, that is the emptiness, but in confirmation, being the empty of inherent existence, all three of those present in one mind, on that mind holding the divine pride of being the resultant Dharmakaya. And that is the what we discussed just before. So, so the next question is, would Rinpoche please explain a little bit on expand a little bit on the reality source, and when we taste the nectar and take the essence of the reality source, what do we experience? The Rinpoche, because duzinya nejo kote de chunjung kanasos, chunjung sit kares.
Chunjung sit de tusung jires, tusung, chunjung tusung tena se wa. Damanda meza home base de chunjung de chaja no jai wa. Dabachila nanju me ramana chisha no chunjung tusung nizik.
So the reality source here, the other way here, reality source meant.
Yeah.
So the reason we said Chunjung or the reality source, actually what we meant here is just drawing a triangle, right? Also, do you remember that in a lot of cases, Dhammadadu, the mudra we make is the triangle and we show it. It's symbolic to represent the three parts of the emptiness. And to resemble the three doors of liberation. The three doors of liberations or the three doors of the, which meant the two. So the reality source here is to be understood for the emptiness, and thus that everything in Tantra that we have to build on the emptiness and our understanding of the emptiness. So since our realization and everything we have gained is to the understanding of this emptiness, and which is a symbolic, these three doors of liberation in the form of a triangle or three corner. So thus we call it the source of the reality or the reality source, named as Chunjung in Tibet. So since we have to draw all the realization of the old paths and stages to the understanding of these three doors of liberation from this reality source, right? So thus we name it as a source of the reality or the Chunjung.
This one.
So I request that His Holiness please give an explanation of the 8 Mad Tantra.
Correct.
The Magyugi and the Tumuma with Tambaje Sajara. Tamziki and the Maju Tumuma with Tamziki with Carres.
Then as Sonny Kill, there is a shadow medus. Sonny Kill, issues.
So I don't have time for this today, but I'll make sure that I will get it for you tomorrow. So get your pencils ready. So what practice are we authorized to carry on when we receive the race initiation? The Puatovet and also Lam Harikumal Wang is Puatopsa. So accordance with the Vajra Yogini practice, by the virtue of receiving the race initiation, you are hereafter authorized to do the practice of the 11 yoga. So you are authorized to do the practice what I'm trying to teach you right now. So please do it real well. That's a good assignment. So now, next question is, what is the third position of the third portion of the night, and how and why does one gain merit awakening to the third portion of the night? Thank Chasumba Sedi Kares, and thank Chasumolea Lance on the Pain Carriers.
Long can you get in pain was near the pain marwa. 생기 차송바 세나고도 고샤 송동물이스. 차 담부들 마니아지 비주제고래. 자니버데 니에고래. 차 송바데야 롱의 비주제고래. 개매 기론수루수리. 계산 알아서 되네 카보레스. 카보레디 이네 세나 말로네 말로 예데네니. 슈게 치저 고버제 바드라 마니아 나세들로 지스르.
So I'll tell you the benefit first, that if you get up at the third portion of the night, then you will have the all time ahead for your practice. So that's the best benefit you have. And just a joke, okay? That what is the third portion of the night? The third portion is just divide up your night part of the day into 3 parts, and don't sleep in the first, and just go to bed in the middle, and by the time you think it's the third part, get up at that time and do the practice. And that's the way the great bhikshus of the past did during the time of Buddha, and to maintain their great exemplary life, we try to incorporate that in our life as well. But whatever, if you can't get up that early, but please make sure, do me a favor, don't sleep till 9 o'clock. Get up at least earlier than that and do some practice. So, what are the Dhammapalas? Chöjong said Kares. Chöjong.
Chöjong sia bugu pama ge bugu jong do was. Chöjong ge chöjong ares. Chöje kenda chöje chöde sonjo je ares.
So, Dhammapalas, pala means to take care of. So, so pala means to take care of. So thus that parents take care of children, the king take care of the subjects, officers take care of his people who he is obliged to. In the same way, Dhammapalas, they take care of the Dharma. So what are the Mahakalas? Gombu shukar, gombu kares.
Gombu bambu yore. Gombu sudun gonjab cheken insan gombu mida vare.
So Mahakalas.
Gombu da jab da ponye.
Gombu nabu sedi.
Gombu nabu sedi gondo nabu re. Gonjab cheken ke gondo nabu sonsa chevare.
So Mahakala is the guardian, that who is a Kala is black in color, right? Since he has a black color, so he's named as Mahakala, a great black. So he is the one, Gombo in Tibetan, which means leader or one who protects. So what are the Pratimokcha vows? Sostav Domba Sedi. Sostav
Domba Sedi. Gelon, Gitsu, Guinea, Niene, Domba Tusures. Susu Tabas, Domba Same Rana, Susu Tabatogre, Miamba Tabatomaris Tige.
So, what are the Pratimokchas? The Pratimokcha, the individual emancipation, as if translated, and it meant those are the like the novice monks and nuns, and like the upasakas, and then the like the bhikshu and the male and female, and those are the Pratimokcha vows that if one kept, which brings the emancipation for oneself, or liberation for oneself. So thus it is called Pratimokcha, the vow which brings the emancipation for oneself. So, 2 parts of question. It says, how and why do Father Tantra stress illicit body? The Pajunala, any the Julut said, do not connect to Horis. Pajuna, Julut said, do not connect to Horis.
Take us on a Pesha Gumig, Silvania, Kat Bele, Shekesha, and Bashe, Silver, Te Ayutayadi, Pesha said the Tumbaris, Levi Bas, which was.
So, how and why do Father Tantras stress the illicit body? How? I told you earlier yesterday with the illustration that if somebody has a motive to get money, that whatever he does to going to a client, in whichever way he may act, that his motive is to get the money, right? So that's that I don't have a piece palatables to say that this is the way they are presented, because it in itself is a very broad subject, but the way they have stress and design.
Chöpe chenla rangye tongye namba susu namba je diwa ke chamendo was tongye inza öse ze de tongye yor yege tinza öse ma se sigi yo mares ote migu kanga de zu ne pe yandu che de migu kaga chi lu zu ne bosa de bo yung yo res 제대로 무슨 딩고 마우지가 같이 하는 거래 미국지가 보이는 거였어. 내가 나중에 사실 도시에 가르 제자네 상도선 네 줄리도 요새니가 가봐 보고도 따고 그랬어.
So for instance like in the blessing of the offerings, you find that when they're blessed, they say by nature bliss and void, but in aspect, in the form of the offering, in function, ability to produce uncontaminated bliss, this and that, right? In the Vajra Tantra, that they mention the bliss first, because the bliss is the way with which they try to accomplish the illicit body. That they don't mention the illicit body, but every practice is designed for the actualization, mainly for the actualize the illicit body. Whereas in other practice, in modern Tantra, you find by nature void. By nature voidness. In the Mother Tantra, you find by nature voidness appearing in the form of the offerings. By nature voidness, you find even by the wording, as I told you earlier, clear light. So though they don't mention the clear light directly, but it is all designed, that voidness, to lead to the actualization of the clear light. So everything, that just like a bird, whether it glides right to left or left to right, or just fly up or down or whatever, it just finally lands on one spot which he has in mind. In the same way. So since you don't need that for your meditation, but it's a very broad subject, okay? To gain a full comprehension of this, these things, that you need to have the real good understanding of the entire text of the Tantra itself. It needs a very broad subject, broad understanding, or broad intensive study of everything.
Yeah.
Question, please explain what happens to someone who has sudden death, heart attack or violent death, murder victims. The kashe hopte thondo dewa hopte thondo kashe penmi sevala sobata kashe dinderis juade en karingo aris pantanda kashe ringi chu moimba the kadu mare hopte shi jong dewa kashe chu chidang tugi chu na kimai bo hopte shi jong de kashe
hopte shi jong de chewa chewa 먼저 되게 조지 도야 돼. 림지 쳐을 셔버. 가네가 리셔. 영 사와다. 메다제버다. 추나다 사와다. 미 세버다. 들으라. 조지 림지 도야 요 말이스. 맞어. 다마 사출의 팀보다 추멜의 팀보스 요 말이스. 맞어. 다 샤마데 너체 두수에 야고지 요 말이스. Pechiri Ose Yodo Kabure, Mendo Kabure, Tende Yomaris. Ose Zedam, Tabachini, Gonkajin, Tabaracho Yuguris. Tamat Surama Trene, Shamajan Rachuris.
So for that kind of death, like the one who falls off from a cliff or being shot instantly and so on, one who faced such an instant death, that they may not have the first four from the sequential, like mirage-like, and those which we tried to explain earlier, those are the one supposed having a gradual death process. And they may even not have a chance to recollect on the redness, whiteness, redness, and darkness. But they may find a little, if one has some understanding, could get some vision of the clear light and so on, that or catch on it. So I think, so since I think this is a question quite important, that we travel a lot in the aeroplane and we could be run over by car and so on. So I'll give you an illustration. So in distant come, that we are 3-story building. On top, we have the little pile of stone on the corner of the roof, on the edge of the roof, to protect, to provide more like a gutter. So since there's the roof, there's roofing with the wood, and there was a little leak. So there's a gishi from there's a gishi from the monastery, who he's not quite well trained in the scripture, but then since he sensed some leaking, then he tried to fix that. He got on the roof, but he slid, and then he fell down and broke his skull, and he. So he fell down and broke the skull, but somehow he just immediately got up and sat in a cross-legged. So that though the 4 elements, I think they dissolve instantaneously or at the same time, instantaneously, but those last 3, the appearing, increase, and near attainment, those 3 I think come sequentially. So at those 3, one may be able to recollect on those 3 signs, and if still one loses the track, that even in Bardo, that one may get a chance, or one may know that one is in Bardo, and that knowing the hallucination of those kind of vision in the Bardo, being the vision of the Bardo, that one may be able to recollect on the instructions of the masters.
Padu Mushina, Padu Jumata, Padu Melam Tapa Gung to Meta, Padu the Suata to Padu the Lama Jan to him, Padu the Chuna, and we say General Mario, Padu, the Jaws on such a Rujan Taris.
So, if he could relate to the Bhakta as Bhakta and being like in state of a dreamlike state and so on, and if he could contemplate on the instructions of Master and so on, then if he could receive a better rebirth, then that's whether he has been able to catch on those 8 sequences or not, but he at least got a good part of his practice.
Yeah, thank you.
So, next, can Bhakta beings communicate with each other? If so, could one help another with the reminding on teaching? Bhakta also and it this year that to meet in good ways. Yes, they can communicate and they can have a good assembly with each other, conference. And Jesse on Conspirity Chugi, then a Dutch in the church and water. Soon, Namame Arting, what the Negi, Jig depends on
Jiggy Pendoji was serious. Shida young Maris. In a Yabu Muris, Padu Remji is a Yabutuna, how serious. Padu Tudu of Koransu Kod and Penguioris. Anzu the Padu Gashi, Shibu to Dalagage, Kundaba Yuma Kadu to go in a Tige Penguioris.
So, if taking maybe they Padu Nampensis.
Jazan Nampensil Shanity, Anzu Gashi Kuzu Penguiona, Padu Nampenzo, Jiggy, Tong Jiggy, me, Da Sherijana, Shakishun Penguva. In a year, which I said to my Kundu Sim the Yin Jambore, Yana Yindu Yala Yan, Yindu Kenjiori, Sim the Betan Bush Radio Kenjiomare.
So, it may be hard for them since they have a very, what we call scattered mind, more or less scattered, you know. They're very easy to get distracted. So, but if they are really good, competent practitioners, and if 2 such practitioners were to meet with each other, they may be able to help with each other. That if you do believe that our reading of the text for them and reminding them, then why not, you know, if they can meet with each other and if they could communicate that definitely will help each other. But it is hard, it is really hard since that they have a very wandering thought, very wandering, unsettled mind. So,
Anzu Jawache, the Wachida go to Poorija, the Chogaton, the Chogagon, the Padung Guju, and the Kugori, Kudu Kuyayori, Kutsason, the Chishajiori, Chisha, the Missumuk Magone, Padule, Riva Yagayori, Riva Dunjur Gutawa Insuri, Goni Pento Yunguri.
So during our Jonga practice, that is the purification practice, that with speaking the word of truth, that we invoke that about the being to the spot and try to give the discourses and so on. And it is said that if they could understand the teaching, comprehend it, their intelligence is even 7 times better than ours. So, could we incorporate the white moon and Vajra at our heart in our daily bodhicitta meditation, like in the initiation when we receive duplicate of these from the hearts of the Guru? Niga daotachi the page tamje nejo simki wat sisare.
Oh no, you could.
Tamje nejo simki wati couple de migu jarwal ta ta di ke di wang ka la suna na shi la me den ma ni rang ni wo che che ani timba di wang ka suna na shi nang ju ga su kom de di yam de res
gu je de me wa de
so
ali di shu de me kong so ni she la di de shu san shu she chu
so yeah, this question I'll answer tomorrow. So
gu je de on de je no de gu de ge be ma to je
so next question, did we choose this birth, and what and how much did we have consciously to say about it, since we are now in Dharma? Did we choose this birth? What and how much did we have consciously to say about it, since we are now in Dharma? Huh? I don't quite understand it.
Maybe
lo ma to re kwa ma
I think whoever wrote it, if they could talk to me, I'll have the question tomorrow. Is that all right? Thank you. I really cannot understand. If all the accomplishing wisdom wisdoms functions as sending out rays of light, how does the equalizing wisdom function? The charu ishi and by the tone susungan verse church and sinji tencha and nyami ishi in karib doing kandichores. Charu ishi or charu ishi. The sinji tencha down any ningan verse church, sinji tencha, never ni ishi in tencha down the kandichores.
never ni ishi le toba sauri melu ishi le toba mazaro na ali dan da yo kado ka we cha melu ishi le ti to kar che shandu.
So
ma we cha de never ni ishi je to kar che ndu. Then je ya de da yo se de je ba la go ne rang ma mo ba na chen su ni bin je ja jun ru je ge yi ge de la mi ne gom ne gom le de ne san ji ko phun ro ne de le sin la ba si je to che yo ma re da na be mo su che ya ge ko la mi ba je de ke mi ba de yi se ya ge su ba me ne su nya ba ni ji shi se ya de ge da li shu nya ni shi da ishi su mo she go ni ka wo re ma wo re che.
So the equalizing wisdom and its function, that it's good that you have doubt about equalizing wisdom. Should I believe that you have all the doubts about the mirror-like wisdom settled? Or anyway, just I will explain it tomorrow, because it's a broad subject. And it'll come.
다들 용수존이 중고 때도 되면 중고 줘봐 되게 더 가르쳐 버려나 냐니 이실래라 오늘 melong 이실 가르치jan도 소도 이실 가르치는 뜻이야돼 아니 냐니 셰죠 다들 처음에도야.
So actually I know that your doubt is from your Heruka practice, where how the whole formation that moon disk first be formed,
다다 간선 뒤나라 공제라 손이 용거래 저루 이시 용거래 다다 용고야래 용고야래디 저루 이시 용주래 더 거리체다 마제 다다 다제 공 모정아이 군베 살제야데 시제가 더 말이었나니 아니 강제 너는 강요 공 강요 대리가 요는 모정아이 군의 제바데 인상 뭐 정시원아데 이시가이 군의 모정 정시 지그 시제 더 있는 이해 시제 더 있는 거래.
So how they function, what their function was, how they benefit sentient beings, that it will follow in this practice, that generation of oneself into deity through the 5 enlightenments or the 5 wisdom. So when we go over that, then you will find that how each one of these wisdoms will function, okay? So that answer will follow in our next day's teaching. So I would like to have this question for you, whoever presented me this question, that this question is for you, that what the inner offering, blessing of inner offering and so on, and how it benefits the sentient beings. And your meditation on the emptiness in the taking of Dharmakaya onto path, that how does that help the sentient beings? And how in the taking the Sambhogakaya onto path, that in the visualizing in the form of Nanda in case of the Decho or Heruka and Similar Pam in this practice, that how that helps the benefit that sentient beings. So, if a competent practitioner who sees his parents in pain have to practice that they're lucid. I think I will need help with this. So this one, if competent practitioner always enters through the father's crown and crown chakra when taking rebirth, does that mean that competent practitioners are always born male? The any pair in unma pair chunma shuja any girling words canasus. Did you any so it is not only for the competent practitioners that everyone has to enter through the crown or head of the father to take the birth. So the passage that one enters the womb between the egg and sperm is through the crown or head of the father. So thus it is not a question of who is competent practitioner or not. Everybody goes through the crown of father. So, number 9, there is Peruzana.
여자 다 지체들 나노 스도 사는 지체 용사 고 샤마한테 날에 쇼고를 했다. 더 하러 버스게 내가 되게 버려.
So, Parasana, is also nicknamed, so not really nicknamed, but for the feces too, they call Parasana and referred as Parasana. So, some of the earlier Tibetans, they thought that since it says entry through the Parasana, which meant the place where we have to visualize Parasana, which meant Kana head. So they thought that Parasana as the name for feces, where it come from is as being the rectum. So they thought that it enters through the rectally, So that was a mistake.
당하는 성주의 유셔선 통고마를 받아 사디고는 돈을 조조지 내요리. 쿠바다디다는 세조조를 지어서 잡아근도 가르치지. 콜라 개중스미다 버리. 개중스도 잡아리. 치대다 봐도 개중도 올라다 봐스 잡아리. 쇼게 님은 샤자라 조바도 안 루스타기는 콜라 랑고지가도 다 버리. 랑고지가 아니 싫어요리. 랑바다는 자수군도는 나려요리.
So the reason, part of the reason why the feces was named after as also the Nambana's Bharatana was the Bharatana is perfectional form, right? So when we take the food, that we take the food for the nurture of this form, and as after the essence is taken, it comes out in the product comes out is the feces. So because it could be that it was named as the Bharatana. And also medically, that when they make the medical observations, that there are a lot of observations they make, like the way the feces, its texture, and its position, and so on, that whether one's death is close or whether if there's any sign of illness and so on. And so when it sits up, in certain position, that it looked more like in the position of the Bharatana. So So they just try to observe that if one's death is close or not to the product, that elimination, and on its position, and or if there's any kind of vapor and its texture and so on. So that's, and also there's sometimes they also say aspirant, or aspirant for the virtues, and because of the again way it sits, if laid somewhere else than bathroom.
All that's heavy. Gilungu to any much to a man, Langba man is grace. Love Langba Dalan just so good noon nagaris.
So signs of the death, for instance, like that if there's no the heat, that vapor which comes on top, if there's no vapor as such on the faces, then it is a sign that one's death is close, and if there's kind of little rainbow type shine, then one's illness one's quite vulnerable to illness and so on. So there's some observations they make on those.
바도에 나시 나버 당제 고니 슈 수자 요레스로 다.
So the reason I try to tell is that in the text it says the consciousness or the mind of the Bharata being enters through the Bhairocana, which meant crown of the
고니
head.
나나 그 고니 슈.
What's kone?
고. 주사 고.
No. To the door of the to the door or the door of the Bhairocana, which meant crown of the head.
티치우는 고고레스.
So that has to be understood for the crown of the head.
그 바도에 나시 파이 지우니 슈고레스.
So consciousness of the Bharata being has to enter through the crown of the head.
사운드에 네 지시 진लब 나라스다.
In the blessing of the Kichi, that is the 12 entrances and so on, in the Gua Samaja practice,
랑게스원이 제메 초바도 보면 나가 공주 나머지 다서 나가 공부 제장 의나 주변에서 나만나서 제마다 제ven도도 다니 내가 주로 산지고지 국가의 부모가여도 저 산지고 나자도다 나와서 수었다 또 자든 주변 제마다 제저베 나나니 표시지 제방한도 녀버슈베 자지 있으면데 다니 지나만 다지 고니 슈베스 니마슈 니마테 이시심베스 나만 다지 고니 슈베 아니 고도지 공주 토바 주로 산지 고고고서 내가 대여 와서 내 송근나 대나만 다지 고니 지우로.
So in the Gua Samaja practice, it says that through the generation, through the delegation of the Chenma, that's the name of the concert, to the innumerable, to the entire all directions, and Allah.
어디 나만 하지 고니 슈시요레스 나만 하지 이시바 제정바데 다니지 나만 하지 고니 슈지오니 슈 어바메 제정 다니 찔슈 미저베 제정 다니지 내가니 슈스 제내 수제를 티네 요레스 나 선두도 그스 싱그리스.
So they invoke all the Buddhas in form of the Asura Buddha, and they Bhairocana and all the Chema, they sit in union with them, with the Bhairocana, and that melts into the creative energy and enters through personal Bhairocana, it says. Personal Bhairocana, which meant one's own karma head. So thus, again, I'm giving you a reference, the Bhairocana, entry through the Bhairocana, which here meant very clearly the crown of one's head.
That's what they drew. That one again, logic. Tabudoji Chansi, something which ever the Lama drew, which you purely paper. Chuju, Kashi Toyatari.
So Tabudoji, I have a story for you that when he was very, very young, that his incarnate, that who could hardly talk, but very young, when he was first came towards the central.
Kumula Shugon Shabar Muchiki Kuzeno, Koran's so pure. Tabudo Chante de Dalija, Sharamuchik is Shalere, and the new Kuzeno, Hello, Shugon Shabar Muchi, Tabudo Chale, Chera, Amen Kuban Kades, Shubas, Kacheteore.
So, Shugon Shabar Muchi, that one of the other.
Shugon Shabar Muchi, Alamachimuchire.
So he's again another Lama, So they were all together in his own Tijang Doji Chan's place. And as a joke, he asked that Tabu Rinpoche, that how did you enter your mother's womb?
Ziyatso Puchi Deni Shuyore. Hadati Peru de la Shugon Shabar Muchi, Tabudo Chera, Kutuza, Ame Kubanale, Yakades Peba as Tibere.
So Shugon Shabar Rinpoche and Tabu Rinpoche, they were all present for sok offering in the Tijang Rinpoche's place for sok offering.
Tijang Rinpoche Shemo Uche. Shugon Shabar Tabu Rinpoche Chunju de la Shure. Ame Kuban Kades Peba as Tibere.
So Shugon Shabar Rinpoche, he asked the little Tabu Rinpoche that how did you enter your mother's womb?
Chasa, which Chunjura, Wapu Chunjura, Chasa Rinpoche. No, I met an air Zulmako. Say, Karuka, no, I paid the ones who leave.
So he said that, no, yeah, he was a little child, and he said that, no, I didn't enter through the moms, but I entered through the crown of head of the dad. He was a really little child. Like. So he again insisted that, but how did you do that? So he kept his hand on the table, and as a calling, and he said that that's where I did it. I think that's the answer. So remaining, I'll answer tomorrow.